fun part, Dr. Suchamel. Are you a fan of soccer?
I am, yes, very much.
So I got some questions for you that might be interesting for our followers. What's your favorite football club?
Liverpool FC.
Nice. So Liverpool, congrats about your championship.
Thank you.
And
It's been a long.
I like it very much. I like Liverpool very much. I'm not the fan of Liverpool, but be honest, Liverpool has been a very great team, and with his special coach, and hope that if Liverpool goes on straight in his dreamland. So, what's your favorite club's best team ever? Best team ever.
The best team ever?
I think the current team would be your best team ever. Yeah.
It's hard for me to argue, but I know that I haven't been a fan of Liverpool as long as a lot of other people. But I would argue that the current team is a very good team compared to a lot of the other teams that have previously played. Primarily because having won the Champions League, but also now winning the Premier League, I would debate that our front three are as good, if not better, than a lot of other teams with Mane, Bobby Firmino, and Mohamed Salah.
Who's your favorite player in Liverpool?
Mohamed Salah.
Okay. What's your favorite national team? American?
I'm gonna switch in terms of genders right now, but the U.S. women's national team is my favorite national team. It has been very disappointing to watch our men's national team because they didn't qualify, obviously, for the World Cup this last time, and we really haven't made as much progress as we should have, in my opinion. So it's disappointing from that end, but I'm a really big fan of our USA women's national team.
Cheers to USA's national team. Hope that it will be very successful and have winning a lot of titles in the future, and make their fans happier than ever. So, have you been the fan of women's national team a long time? I'm gonna ask you about the best team ever of U.S. women's national team.
Been for a while, and again I would argue that a lot of them have been very unique, and I will say the national team that sticks out for me was when players like Mia Hamm were still on the team, Brandy Chastain. So this would have been a while back, but I'll never forget the shootout with the women's national team. With she took off her shirt and was on the ground, all excited after the penalty kick, and that will always live on in my memory. But a lot of the players now, as well as just recently, like Abby Wambach, Alex Morgan right now, Megan Rapinoe, a lot of these players are a huge fan of, especially because for women's sports in general in the United States. So a lot of the teams I would consider right now as well are some of the best that they've ever had.
So I wish the best for all women football teams, and we all know that they have been underestimated, and we hope that this wouldn't be continual. And another question. Do you think the idea that men and women play in a same team is um, um, proper and is operational or not?
So I guess I'm kind of I don't understand your question. Are you asking should they be like paid the same, or are they playing?
No. I mean, could in future this happens that women and men play in a same team, in the same league together. You know, they are separate right now. We have a women league, we have women clubs, women um, national teams. And do you think is it operational that in future when men and women play in a same team and a league or etc.?
I think that would be really interesting to watch. I think both the men and women um, would make for a really unique, really unique matches to watch because all players have different skill levels. I would also argue, and you know, I love watching. I love watching men's soccer. I love watching women's soccer. The one thing I love watching about women's soccer, though, is they don't flop as much as men's soccer players do. That drives me absolutely crazy. And you know, if there's going to be a penalty, let the referee call it. Don't flop and try to get a penalty. Just play. And so I think I would also argue that there's probably a lot of women out there that have higher skill levels compared to some of the men's players. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the men's players are highly skilled. We see some men's players now that you may never see again in terms of the level that they're playing at. So I would say that playing together would be very interesting. And we may not have to necessarily have separate men's and women's leagues. I think it would be interesting to if that came to fruition. I think it would be interesting to watch.
Thanks. Dr. Suchamel, who scored the most remarkable goal that you haven't, that you won't even forget?
I believe it was not Cristiano Ronaldo, but the Brazilian Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
It was the I think you know what I'm talking about, with the very long free kick where the spin that he was able to put on the ball and the keeper just stood there because he didn't know what was going to happen. It looked like it was going way wide and it curled right back in. That was probably one of the most remarkable goals I have ever seen in terms of highlights. The amount of skill it takes to do that is incredible. I would also say that there's been several goals, whether it's by Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, whether it's a bicycle kick, but also the fact that they go on their long dribbling drives where they get past about 10 different defenders, it seems, and still end up scoring. It's amazing what some people can do with skills on the ball.
So, by your opinion, what's the highest level European league?
I might make some people mad with this answer, but I'm a very big Premier League fan, and I would argue that the level has in Premier League has gotten a lot higher in recent years as well. But as we saw with the last Champions League, with the number of Premier League teams that were, in the final 16, in the final 8, that I would also argue that the tactics, the skill that they have, the speed has certainly gotten faster. But what I really like about watching Premier League soccer is the physicality. I think I love watching La Liga as well. The one thing that's unique about La Liga is the finesse that a lot of the players have and the style that they have with the ball. I love watching players like Messi with the ball, but the physicality is what I love about the Premier League. So that if you're going to be anywhere in the box, you're going to have a lot of people on top of you, pushing you out of the box. But that's what I love about the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree you with that, and I should add that watching Premier League games is like watching fighting gladiators for me.
I would agree.
Yeah, I like it too, like you. So, Dr. Suchamel, what's your favorite player of all time?
That's that's a big question. I shoot. Favorite player of all time.
Name
I
the first one you imagine.
The first one I met, the one that I always enjoyed watching play when he was still around was Ronaldinho. Um, just with his skills on the ball, the fact that he just looked like he loved to be out there every single time he was playing, how competitive he was. I mean, yeah, you get players that exchange jerseys with everyone. I remember watching one match that afterwards, I think he exchanged his jersey, he gave away his boots, like I don't know if it was shin guards and everything too, but every player on the opposite team was just in awe of the things that he was able to do. And he's probably one of my favorites, and I would say Messi is one of my favorite as well. But just watching him play, I think he changed the game a little bit.
And what's your favorite player current playing?
Currently playing, I would say between Mo Salah and Messi.
And what's your favorite football coach?
That's an easy one. That's Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen,
And what?
the reason why Jurgen Klopp is his enthusiasm. I mean, he he turns into a child and a fan on the field because of how animated and excited he gets. I mean, every single time they score a goal, he's running down the sideline, he's fist pumping, he's pointing to the crowd, and I also think that he does a really good job of connecting with his players, but also the fans.
He's a
There are
good
some,
psychologist.
yeah, he's very much a people person, and I think he's also very down to earth in terms of having seen the interviews that he's done previously. He's very knowledgeable, but he also doesn't discount the people who contribute to their success.
So, the best player of this year.
Well, I would say it's between three, and I think my three are probably the same as everybody else's in the world. But taking all things into consideration, I would probably have to say um, it's a toss up between Messi and Lewandowski of this year. I don't hard for me to not say that it's Messi just because of the combination of number of goals, but also the number of the assists that he has. That's the one thing I think that separates Messi and Ronaldo personally. I think Messi's skill on the ball is better than Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is more physical than
Yeah.
Messi is. Um, I think, but I would also say that Ronaldo certainly doesn't have the number of assists that Messi has. So I think Messi shares the ball a lot more. But it's hard to argue against Lewandowski right now because his team is so good, and he's a goal-scoring machine.
Yes.
I mean, it seems to be every single year, he's gonna pop off another, you know, 20, 30, 40 goals, it seems.
So you choose Lewandowski.
I guess I'll choose Lewandowski right now. I would also say that because they may be the favorites right now in Champions League.
So name the first play that comes to your mind for each position. Okay? I'm gonna... Oh, okay. Name a player in position of goalkeeper.
David De Gea.
David De Gea. Defender.
Virgil van Dijk.
Midfielder.
Andy Robertson.
Andy Robertson. Oh, okay. Attacking midfielder.
Attacking midfielder, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Very nice. And defending midfielder.
Oh boy, it's hard to be honest. I don't know if I can name a defending midfielder because they switch so often.
Yes. And the striker.
Sergio Aguero.
Aguero. Nice. So the other question. Consider yourself as a coach. Which one would you choose to be a coach for a team? A highly potential team to win a title. B, a team that is struggling not to fall into lower level league.
I would want to be with the high potential team because I'm very competitive and I want to win. I think, not to say that I'm certainly not a football coach, but I would want to be in a spot or a position that we could potentially win the championship. Yeah. I think that there's probably there's stress on both sides of it because you don't want to fall into the lower league, but I would also say that I'd want to try to win the league as well.
So rescuing a team from falling is actually a win too.
Oh, it's a win.
It doesn't have any cups, any medals, but it's a huge win.
I'm just too competitive. I just want to win it.
Okay. Which club has the most passionate fans?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Which position would you like to play if you were a professional player?
Striker.
Striker. Do you play soccer?
It was a while ago, but yes, I played soccer when I was
striker.
Always wanted to score goals.
Okay. Consider yourself as a player in the World Cup final. The match went to penalty kicks. There is just one kick left and it has to be scored. Would you like to take that kick?
I would love to take that kick, but if there's someone better than me, I'd rather have them take it. But I would take the kick. Having been in other pressure situations in sports, I usually am able to block that out a little bit and just focus on what I'm doing and trust that, all the training up to that point would work out in the end.
Very fine. The last question, which one would you like to have as a soccer player? A World Cup or a Olympics gold medal?
I would probably say a World Cup. And the reason I say that is the Olympics are obviously very important. They same time between either a World Cup or Olympics in terms of 4 years. But I would also say that I feel like the World Cup means more to soccer fans because the Olympics, all the other events at the Olympics may overshadow soccer at the time, versus when the World Cup is happening, the entire world is focused on it. And I think it's, in my opinion, it's just a much bigger deal when you just have that one event happening.
Nice, very nice for your answers. Thank you.